Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome to the Kurt Locker Gym for Muscles and Muffin Tops, and today we're doing repetition deadlift. So what does that mean? Well, repetition work typically for me revolves around 2 to 3 sets of around 6 to 8 repetitions. Deadlift though is a little bit different because of the intensity of the lift, just in and of itself, just because it tends to be everybody's best lift. I tend to drop my volume down a little bit, and what I end up doing is a 2x6. Which I know is right in that band of what I told you earlier, but traditionally speaking for repetition work, I try to get 8 repetitions in per set. Last night would have been a good example of when I'm okay with accepting 6. Again, if you had watched my overhead video where I was having difficulties with my left shoulder on the eccentric portion of my push press, I basically stopped at 6 reps for my first set, which in my mind, like I'm still satisfying the spirit of a repetition day. But ideally, I'm really trying to get to that 8. After my deadlift, I'm gonna move on to some camber bar squats, which is also in a repetition type thing. So 70% of my 1 rep max for squatting. I'm gonna be doing that for 2 sets at 8. And then I'm gonna move on to basically a whole bunch of rowing and pulling assistance work, which I really do love it. It's a lot of fun. So let's get the deadlift jack out, get the deadlift bar out, and let's get to work. So one of the things I'm actually trying to get better at is brushing out my bar every single time I use it. So with a deadlift bar, what I found is that trying to keep up with this is worth the 30 seconds worth of brushing. Next up is camber bar squats. I really do love these, especially for trying to really keep from having hips shoot out, those kind of things. So if you've never used a camber bar squat before, for squatting, basically what it does, for me at least, is it really accentuates all those minor deviations from a good bar path that you would normally wouldn't feel as much, but because the weight is lowered, but the load is still up on your shoulders, you notice it to a greater extent. Awesome variation on squatting. Additionally, it's nice because you can take your hands and put them down here on the bar, which just makes it a little bit easier on, again, shoulders, if that's a concern of yours. Just want to take another second as well and just plug a little bit of that Charlie Mike from UXO Supplements. Days like today, a lot of work, a lot of heavier work, and you're sweating, you're having a hard time, maybe not having a hard time getting through, but you just need a little bit of extra love. Charlie Mike Continue Mission is what CM stands for in military talk, is what I use to get there. Check it out in the link down below. Between Send It pre-workout and Charlie Mike, that's pretty much the bulk of supplements that I take, and you won't regret it. All right, so I did find out that I have to take a fitness assessment tomorrow. Just found that out today because I have to go do some traveling. Later, it's not gonna work out to do it any other time this month, so I did call a slight audible. Originally, I was gonna load a little bit more on my camber bar squats. I'm gonna just lighten up the load just a little bit and just kind of conserve some energy for tomorrow's festivities. All right, so I'm gonna kind of speed things up here at the end of my training session. Normally I would do barbell rows, shrugs, then I would do like a dumbbell style single arm row, as well as like some face pulls and some curls. What I'm gonna do to just kind of save my upper body is I'm gonna do some shrugs. I'm gonna do some easy bar curls because that has the least impact on tomorrow's fitness test. And then I'm gonna go and I guess take care of myself and get ready for tomorrow's test. I'm really not scared about failing. So for those of you that are in the service and you have to take fitness assessments, I think that too many people get really tied up on like, I gotta get an excellent every single time. For me, personally, the older that I get, the more that I would value consistent training in the gym with a small sacrifice on an annual fitness test or even a biannual fitness test, than to basically like rob myself of programming and focus on running, which really has almost no carryover into like strength training. And it's also just less stressful. It's one less thing not to stress about. Now I do know that for some services that they count that as a part of like your performance report, performance assessment. And for that, you know, if you're up for promotion and it's important to you, then, you know, I guess focus on it if that's what's important to you. But just for me personally, and I don't feel any shame for thinking this way, I'm not scared about failing. I know I'm gonna pass. It's just a matter of if I'm gonna be an excellent or if I'm just gonna be good. All right, that's it for today's training. I will follow up with you and I will show you how I did on my super important fitness assessment. And again, the next big training session I have is my final Strongman Saturday before I go to some field training. So I'll see you as soon as this fades back from black. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Strongman Saturday. It's currently the 18th of September. So when you're seeing this, it's gonna be a little bit delayed, but I wanna take you through what I'm gonna do on a typical Strongman Saturday. Strongman Saturday for me is usually very event oriented. So if I have a competition coming up, I will train for those specific events. The reason that I hold it for Saturday is because I usually have more time. I'm able to train at a better time of day where it's not gonna interrupt like my neighbors' lives so much. If I'm doing yoke in the street at 9 o'clock at night, that might cause some problems. And also because I'm able to take all those events and consolidate them into one day so that my body kind of gets used to that kind of abuse over the course of a single day. What I'll typically do is I'll start with an overhead movement. So today I'm going to be doing the zombie clean and press. And again, the reason I'm working on that is based on Alan Thrall's video. I did light work earlier in the week. Today is heavy work for overhead. So what I'm going to be doing is sets of 2 to 4, somewhere in that range, somewhere at about 85%. Now, because this is a new movement, if it's not feeling that good as I progress up through the weight, I'm either going to adjust how I do it, so I might end up doing a traditional axle clean, continental clean, or I might just stay where I'm at and just try to focus on getting that zombie clean down pat. Afterwards, I'm gonna move on to some yoke walks. After yoke walk, I'm gonna come back in and I'm going to do some stone and steel extensions here in the garage, and I'm gonna try to be working up to a decent height. And after that, I'm gonna focus on some grip work and I'll be done. Zombie cleans did not go quite as good as I'd hoped that they would, which is unfortunate. What I found, and one of the primary motivators for me learning the zombie clean, was I had this tendency, and I feel like a lot of the middleweight or skinnier strongmen have this problem where you accidentally go to belt clean and you get that pinch of skin between the belt and the bar, and it causes some pretty severe blood blistering sometimes. So that was one of the reasons I was actually trying to switch. And what I found today, working heavier into my zombie cleans, is that I actually get pretty much that same blood blistering. It's just, now it's up on my shoulder versus being on my stomach. So we'll see if I still want to continue going into zombie cleans. I'm not gonna just give up on it. I do know that there's some technique issues. I need to work on getting down lower into the actual clean portion so I can like drop down and catch it. But you know, all things come with practice and time. Yoke is actually gonna be a lot of fun today. What I plan on doing is probably about 4 runs total, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, so 4 runs total. I like to work in even numbers so that I always bring the yoke back for the final lift. But I wanna work up to like a heavy 50-foot single, maybe drop down 10%, do 3 speed runs after that. All right, so original plan kind of went out the window. So I did 560 for 50 feet. This will be 610 for 50 feet back. Instead of doing one heavy and then a few back offs for speed, I'm actually just gonna see how high this goes. So I'm gonna do 610 pounds right now, and then I'm gonna adjust weight from there. So 610 feels like a really heavy exertion. I might just drop down and do 2 more speed rounds. But if it goes smoothly and I make it with no drops, there's a chance I might move up. 610 pounds moved really well. However, it was slow, and I'm just feeling super dogged. This has been one hell of a week. So I'm gonna take off 50 pounds and do a run. So I'll be back down to 560. And then for my final run, I'll do the last one at 510 pounds. That'll finish up my yoke though. So 2 more runs, 560, 510. Then I'm gonna, instead of doing stone extensions, I'm actually gonna set up a stone over bar here on the curb, and I'm just going to do some stone over bar for reps instead of doing any sort of extension. I figure I've already got the yoke out. I can adjust to a height and then just continue to send it. So this week apparently has just been hellacious on my body. To touch back real quick, I did get like a 93 or 94 out of 100 on my fitness test, and realistically the Air Force fitness assessment isn't that hard. It's like, for my age bracket, it's like 57 push-ups and 54 sit-ups or something like that. You gotta do them in a minute. And I mean, I used the majority of the minute for each event. After that, it's a run. Then of course your waist, height and weight. But yeah, I don't know what it is about this week, but this week has just been hellacious on my body. So I don't know if it's the sun beating down, dehydration, or what, mental stress. But I hate to do this, but I really don't think I'm going to be productive, even doing just grip work. I'm spent. My traps are just smoked. My patience is pretty low right now as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call it, and you guys aren't going to see me for a couple weeks, but hopefully I do have a video wrap up for when I'm on the road. Hopefully I'm able to get some decent training in. If I am, I'll show you guys what that looked like on the road. Until then, I appreciate each and every single one of you. I appreciate those of you that stuck with me through week 3 of training. Let me know if you like these kind of videos in the comment section down below. Let me know if you didn't like this type of video, so like where I bring you through every single day. I'm not planning on being a normal thing, but I did want to drag out week 3, basically to tread water on YouTube until I get back from my training. So again, appreciate you guys. Have an awesome day, and remember, with your garage gym, you should always keep it better, awesome, and of course, badass. I'll see you in a couple weeks.